guys are here and you are going to be doing the 36 questions. There was a psychological study done to show that these are 36 questions that will help two people, complete strangers, get to know each other and theoretically want to visit or see each other again. And so the way that's going to work is that you guys have questions that are highlighted on your sheets. If a question is highlighted on your sheet, then you ask that question first and the opposite person will answer, and then that person will give the same question right back to the original asker, and you guys will just go back and forth until we're all through with the 36 questions. You guys good?
Yeah. Woo! Question number 1. Given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest?
I feel like there's a lot of different like genres that you could go with.
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Like you've got like the someone who's dead, or like a mentor of yours, or like I feel like world leaders is a really common one. I personally, Germany's leader right now, I think her name is Oma Merkel.
I think Angela Merkel.
Angela Merkel, that's it.
So.
But she is just like, everything I've seen about her, she seems like she just like is such a good leader and is like so well composed. And I would just really like to talk to her about like what it's like being a woman in such a powerful position and like how she's dealt with that.
My answer's a lot less poignant. I think mine's, I would say Princess Diana.
Oh,
I feel like she's got like a
good
story
one
to tell.
That would be an interesting dinner.
If I like was gonna go like deeper, maybe like Jesus, just to be like, look at the world now, or maybe like one of the founding fathers, or just someone who like people put a lot of like stake in their opinion.
Would be interesting,
right? And I want to be like, what do you actually like? Everyone kind of like says that you would disagree with this, or you agree with this. What do you actually believe?
Our second question. Would you like to be famous, and in what way?
I think I care less about like the fame part, but I do have like a really deep desire to be like important, if that makes sense. So I think I would like the idea of being like a celebrity or whatever, that's like cool, but I think that would kind of get to me if I could be a celebrity in the way that like people knew who I was, but they didn't really know a lot about my personal life.
If I were to be famous for something, I'd want it to be something I was super duper proud of.
Yeah.
Like it would have to be something that I also was very proud of.
Public opinion is so like volatile that if it wasn't something that you were totally sure of being like the right thing or like a good reason why you're famous, like I think I would just be like walking on eggshells all the time, like hoping people like still liked me. When did you last sing to yourself or to someone else?
I was like singing to myself in the car on the way over here. Like I sing all the time. You can ask my roommate. I will be singing to myself all the time. Because I did musical theater in high school. So
Me too.
It's like, musical theater. So that's like just something that I like don't even realize I'm doing it most of the time.
Same. Actually, today I probably didn't sing to myself because I was in class all day. And I also have a roommate, so like it's a little difficult. Like I don't want to. She's a very like quiet person, and I don't want to like intrude on her. But like when I have a moment to myself, I'm probably singing.
If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you choose?
My natural inclination, like my instinct originally is to say I would want to keep my mind, but actually thinking about it, I think one of the worst things in life for me would be to have a very active mind and be like thinking
and be
about a lot,
trapped.
and feel constrained by like, sounds weird, but like my physical vessel or whatever.
I totally agree. I think I would also pick body because I feel like unless you get like some like horrible like dementia, a lot of like people like their minds are pretty good. Like and like I feel like a lot of older people that you meet, like they are still like sharp as like super sharp.
Oh, I like this one. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
I haven't really thought about it much. I did over the summer, like I had a little thing where I was like hyper aware of like when I was driving, I was like, I am moving very quickly and there are a lot of things surrounding me that are also moving very quickly.
I'm terrified of driving, so that makes a lot of sense. I like this question actually because my sister and I have an inside joke that I could not, like, I don't even know where it comes from, but we've just for like the longest time said that like, oh yeah, Erica's gonna die drowning in molasses. And I don't know why.
That's so specific.
It really is, and I don't know how I would ever find like a vat of molasses like large enough to drown it. On a more serious note, like in high school, specifically, actually mostly like freshman, sophomore year, but also afterwards, I was just like very convinced that I was not going to graduate, like, and not out of like, I wasn't gonna do anything. Yeah, I was just like, oh, there's just like, I'm not gonna go to college. Like,
I'm not gonna get that far.
Yeah, I was like, there's just no way that I'm gonna ever be that old. Like, I had no idea how I was gonna die, but I was like, it's just gonna, like, it's gonna happen, and I'm okay with it. And I was like, do I need to be like warning people, or like, should like something? Because I knew it was like irrational, but it was just like a feeling. And I guess I graduated 2020, so I never did graduate.
I graduated 2020 too.
Wait, are we in the same? I actually didn't.
Yes.
Why didn't we ever talk about this? Okay. I mean, I'm glad I did go to college. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Me too. I'm happy it's
I'm glad you made it out of high school.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, for what in your life do you feel most grateful?
This one's very easy. My family. I absolutely adore my family. Not just my immediate family, but I lived a mile down the road from my cousins growing up.
Oh, nice.
So it's like I had like another set of parents and like 3 extra brothers.
I think I'm most grateful for probably my sister, because I feel like, and my little brother too, but my sister's closer in age to me.
Do you have an older sister or a younger sister?
Younger sister.
Okay, I thought we were the same exact, like, in the family
like
order
setup.
too.
Are you the middle child?
I'm the middle child, and I have an older sister, younger brother.
Okay, I'm the older
I was
child.
about to get really excited. Okay.
And I have a younger sister, and then a much younger, by much, 4 years.
That's like my little brother. He's 4 years younger than me.
Wait, that's crazy. My sister and I are just really close, and there have been like a lot of times like I moved a decent amount as a kid, so like having her and my family, I guess, but mostly her there was really nice.
If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
I was the eldest child, and my parents are really big on like independence, which is a great thing. I think it's made me very independent and self-sufficient, and I think probably a little more confident in myself than I would be otherwise. But it's also meant that I've had to do a lot for myself, where I felt like I haven't really had, like, I mean, I always knew that if I like was desperately in need of help, like I would receive that, but I have kind of had to do a lot for myself by myself, and then do a lot for my siblings to kind of help them out. And I also think that because of that, I've noticed, and I've only noticed this because my roommate is the complete opposite, so we've like talked about it a lot, but I'm a lot less reliant on other people, and I really don't know how to be reliant on other people.
Mine's kind of similar to that. I don't think this was like, being like the middle kid, I felt like I was kind of like sometimes like kind of forgotten about. I wasn't. My parents never like forgot about me, but that was the way like I perceived it. And so I felt like I kind of had to like overperform in order to like gain attention. And that kind of developed this thing where I like don't really know how to ask for help. Like when you're struggling, you need to find a way to get help. And so like that's something that I wish I, like my younger self would have been like, it's okay, it's not weakness, you're not failing when you're like, hey, I need help with this.
Okay, well, moving on to the next page.
Second set.
Alright, I need to get ready for this. Okay.
Is there something you have dreamt of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it?
This is a hard question. Oh, I think for a long time I've dreamt of, I grew up in Singapore, and
what?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
I was born
huge.
there, and I lived there for 11 years, and I haven't been back since I moved. And
so cool.
It is cool. I just really miss it, because like it was a huge part of my childhood, but it's been long enough that like I'm really scared that I'm kind of like losing it, and I don't want that. So I haven't been able to go back. Obviously, I don't have the money on my own to just make that decision. My family was supposed to go back and visit with, there's like these 2 other families that I grew up with. They're like basically like they're family friends, but they're like family, but they live in different countries. And we were all supposed to go together this summer of 2020 after I graduated.
Oh no.
But that got messed up because of COVID. But yeah, I'll get there. Like I hope. I will return. Yeah.
That's so cute. For me, like, it's travel too, and like I feel like college is like a really good time to do that, but we've kind of had that weird like travel bans, COVID.
What is your most treasured memory?
So I think one of my most treasured memories, I think I've got a lot of them, is when me and my grandparents, my sister, all went to Quebec. I'm from here, so the most snow I've ever seen is like 5 inches. So to go there where there was like mountains of snow on the on the side of the road, like it was like old dirty snow, but me and my sister were like so excited by how much there was, and we were like playing in the snowbank. I was like a sophomore in high school, so like I wasn't like young, but I still had like so much fun just like goofing around and playing with my sister.
I definitely feel like my treasured memories often have a lot to do with my sister. I think that there was one time when we were in Madagascar with this other like family friend of ours, and we just like made them like had the most fun night like out of completely nothing. Like we were just like really enjoying each other's company, and I only remember it like so well because like we like voice recorded it, which was like new at the time because we were like young, and so that was like a huge deal. But I just like there was so much like joy in that room, and like if I need that, like I'll go back and listen to it. That's like a mood booster.
A bit of a change in tone here. What is your most terrible memory?
Yeah. Okay. So, terrible memories. It was May, so a little bit after the beginning of quarantine. But my sister is really like she's my best friend. She's like my closest person in life. And she's like struggled with like mental health issues for a really long time, and it wasn't like a new thing. But that May, actually, it's particularly bad because earlier in the wintertime we hadn't been speaking with each other quite as much, and then we like started speaking again, and it was like better. But we had been having a fight that day, and she attempted to kill herself by overdosing on her medication, and she kind of like got out of her like episode right in time to realize that like no, like she had made a mistake, and she went and got me, and she was okay. Like everything happened really fast, and she was like brought to the hospital very quickly, and I didn't really feel like she was going to die. I kind of like assumed, I guess, that she would be okay, but it was just a really like hectic and scary like couple of moments.
Traumatic.
Yeah, especially like after she left, because like my parents went with her, and it was just me taking care of my little brother in the house by myself, and I didn't really know like what the fuck to do. And she was in like the mental hospital for a couple like a week, 2 weeks afterwards, and that was just like it was okay actually when she was there, because I knew she was coming out of it eventually, and I knew she was safe, but just immediately afterwards was like really scary.
My terrible memory, I would say, kind of related to COVID, kind of like your sister's. I think that put everybody in a really dark, like, weird place. And I was a senior in high school, and I was, like, having a really great time, and I was, like, loving where I was at, and I was excited for, like, the spring semester, and, you know, kind of getting to do all those, like, fun traditions, like, seniors get to do, and having that all taken away really quickly, and having that, like, routine taken away was really hard for me, and to just have, like, nothing to do. I had a lot of time to, like, overthink and, like, freak myself out. And like not really belonging in my hometown anymore, but not really have like being transitioned into college yet. I just felt like super anxious about the future and like unsure about where I was going and what I was doing. So like I got super anxious and kind of isolated myself from a lot of like my friends and like my family. I felt like really alone. But like I since have gotten through that, but I think it's just like that was kind of a dark time for a lot of people, and I'm glad to have moved on and gotten through that. There's a dog that is so cute in that over there.
Oh my gosh, look at the way that it walks.
Look at his little ears. Tell your partner what you like about them. Be honest this time, saying things you might not say to someone you've just met.
You just are like a very comforting presence.
Oh
like,
my god.
We're like talking about stuff, and I feel like you're like actively listening and you're paying attention, but also I don't know how to like talk about like deeper things without kind of becoming like a caricature of myself. And you just seem to be very like, I don't know if like you're actually feeling this, but you're putting on this like I'm a comforting presence, like I'm just being genuine and like true to who I am, and like it's making me feel very comfortable.
I love how passionate you are. Like, I feel like even from, like, when we were filming the first episode, like, you were, like, on it. Like, you really, like, you knew all your lines, and you were, like, super invested and, like, had, like, just, like, a great sense of, like, what was going on. I feel like you've got, like, a really good, like, head on your shoulders as far as, like, understanding things, and, like, your answers, Nib, and, like, super, like, coherent, and, like, it seems like you are a very thoughtful person, and you really think about what you're doing, and, like, your actions and your relationships, and I think that's really a great quality to have. Your house, containing everything you own, catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save one item. What would it be and why?
So maybe like something from like my childhood, or like something I had in Singapore. Like I have this like blanket that it's like I got it in Singapore, but I didn't, when I would travel, I wouldn't take it with me because it was so important to me that I didn't want to risk losing it. So I had like a backup one.
Yeah.
But that one is now like tucked away neatly in a corner, and I haven't seen it in a long time because it's this weird like I love it so much I can't look at it. Like,
yeah, like it needs to be
protected.
safe. Mine would probably be this copy of the Book of the Hobbit that my dad. My dad has like a thing about the Hobbit where he reads it every single fall. He'll read it aloud to us. Like, he started when we were like in 5th grade. There's a picture on the front that my sister painted for him for Christmas one year. Like, this book is like very, it's been through a lot. But this year I like actually got sick, so I went home for a week. And it was during his Hobbit reading time, so I got to listen to the Hobbit. And he was reading it from a different book, and I was like, Dad, where's the green one? And he was like, oh, I don't know where that is. Like, I don't know. And so the day I was leaving to come back here, he was like, wait, I found the green book, so you can take it with you if you want to read it at school. And that just like made me like so emotional. So I would save that green Hobbit book.
Okay, this is the killer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even
little pun there. Sorry.
I did not intend for that. Okay.
That's funny. Sorry.
Of all the people in your family, whose death would you find the most disturbing, and why?
I feel like there's no way for me to choose between my mom and my dad. Because like any of those deaths would be so disturbing. I think honestly, like I feel like my little brothers though would be the most disturbing because I'm hoping that I outlive him because I'm older. So if he were to die in my lifetime, I think that
You said outlive.
you said, I hope I outlive my brother.
Let's do that again then!
I hope he outlives me.
You might want to correct me.
Hey, you win. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't think that's
You want to win.
I'm going to outlive my brother. Jeez, I do not want to outlive my brother. That's the whole point. He's younger than me, so I would hope that he outlives me. I don't know how I would feel. Like, that is just, like, horrible.
Mine would either be like my brother or my sister because like for my brother like for most of my life I feel like just also because of the way we were raised like he was much more of like a responsibility to me, like obviously not in like a he's just my responsibility. I mean like I felt like
You felt
very
responsible
protective.
for him. Yeah.
He's just little and I would help him with his homework and like I drive him everywhere he needs to go and like he feels a lot like my child instead of like my parents, although he is obviously my brother. And so I think that would like really like kill me.
Share a personal problem and ask your partner's advice on how he or she might handle it. Also ask your partner to reflect back to you how you seem to be feeling about the problem you have chosen.
It requires a little bit of
yeah, this is
this is my AP Lit like
I know,
question
me being like,
analysis
okay,
is coming
wait.
through.
So
a problem I'm having right now is in the last like month and a half, maybe 2 months, I started a new job. I currently have 2 jobs right now.
Okay.
One of them is like a flexible, like I do like 10-ish hours a week. I can do it on my own time. It doesn't pay so great. The other one is it pays a lot better. I really like the people, and it is I get some nice benefits from it. But it is a huge time commitment. I enjoy it. It's just because this is my first year living on campus, like I'm like trying to get involved in things like STD, and I have these suite mates that I absolutely adore, and I'm like getting closer to some of their friends, and it's just been taking up a lot of my time, and I'm a little just like I don't really know how to balance it without feeling like I'm losing out on something, but I really need the money because I'm saving up for study abroad. Just don't know like how to balance the other things because of it without like losing something like my grades falling or like my friends getting closer without me and like FOMO type shit.
It kind of reminds me of what happened to me with rowing because that was a 20-hour-a-week commitment. And I did feel like I was missing out so much on like just like normal life. Like I was so jealous of my friends who didn't have that kind of time commitment. What I did was I gave it like 2 weeks and I just kind of like took note of how I was feeling every day before practice and after practice, and I was like, a lot of the time I was like, I'm dreading going to practice, and then afterwards I was like, I'm so drained. Keep note of the things you feel you're missing out on. And like just like keeping that kind of data is really helpful to make an informed decision, so you're not just like doing it based off of like feelings. It's like you very clearly are like, this is taking a lot from me, and like these are the things that it's taking, and then it's kind of easier to be like, this is not worth it or this is worth it. And how you seem to be feeling about it, I think like it's obvious that you really care about it and that this is something that's really important to you. But it does seem to like you have a lot of valid reasons, like you need to go home, or you want to do fun things like go to a concert or get involved or be with your friends, and those are all like super valid things. And so I don't want you to discount those things because you feel like you can't quit something. So
Thank you.
ever since I did quit rowing, I have gotten like a bunch of time back, and I like really like having a routine, and ever since then I feel like I've been kind of struggling to find a routine. It's just such a shift. I feel like I'm kind of like struggling, and like I have a lot of time to think, and I'm kind of overthinking things and making myself overly anxious about things.
Like for me, a big thing when I was living in my apartment during COVID, I definitely had that feeling of like I'm like sequestered off in this tiny apartment. I have these many classes, but so much extra time on my hands. What I would do is I'd like every morning, like I would get up early and I would go on like a walk just to kind of like kill that time and get my day started. And then I'd like try and hit like a coffee shop at least twice a week, and I would try and get like I would have like these like lists of goals out there for me, and I really utilized my planner, and I would kind of like plan it. But I chose things specifically that made me feel very like that I knew would make me feel fulfilled. So like I love to read, so I spent a lot of time reading, and gradually like that time would kind of like I would get busier and I would have less time, but just like having it all like written down for me, and then making sure that any space I had was like filled by doing something that I think like bettered myself was useful. So as for how you're feeling, I think that you are like aware of this problem, and obviously like the way that you handled like quitting rowing shows that you like are willing to do what you need to do for yourself. And so I have very little doubt that you're gonna figure it out, and you're gonna like get on top of it.
Now you guys stare into each other's eyes for 4 minutes.
God.
I will set a timer. Don't stare into each other's eyes yet.
Okay.
All right,
I know.
I'm gonna avoid looking at your
This is
eyes.
really hard.
All right.
I know.
3, 2, 1,
Okay.
stare.